largely stopped those after there was that one briefing.
Hey y'all,
it was in May where the president suggested using disinfectants like bleach to treat coronavirus. And of course, there was so much backlash after that that AIDS just really tried to scrap those restrictions altogether. So that is what the president is actually going to bring those back. And it does seem that the president is responding to this criticism that he has not been the public face of the administration's response to coronavirus for the last several weeks, because he hasn't been doing that. He hasn't even held a dedicated event the Tuesday before last, almost 2 weeks ago from today. But then in this meeting that the president was having, the reason they're having it, of course, is to talk about another relief bill when it comes to coronavirus. And they are working on a really tight deadline, and things have already gotten off to a bit of a rough start, because even they've, managed to tick off some Republican leaders by saying that they did not want to give more funding to the CDC, to states for testing, to the Pentagon, the State Department for pandemic response. So the question is, how is that going to be resolved? Now, the president was in there, John, at this tough meetings with several Republican leaders, and the question is, when they get Democrats involved, where do these talks go? Because the Treasury Secretary said he does want them to get legislation passed by the end of the month. This is likely to be the last bill before the November election that's going to go through. But what was interesting is there at the end, the president was asked about something that he has repeatedly pushed for, that Republicans are just not behind. That's a payroll tax cut, something the president has floated for several months now as a response to the pandemic, something that Republicans have said they are not interested in. The president repeated again, he does believe that it is something that he wants. Though, of course, the question is, is that actually going to make it in? Republicans are very doubtful.
That part is going to turn into a
Republicans are very doubtful, and then they have to deal with the Democrats. So I like to get involved very important headlines. The White House appreciates a lot of support coming up for us. States grappling with right now.
I'm done with the line. See, I'm done with the line. Just need to get some more. And then, nice part of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the hair.
For effective relief from arthritis pain, try Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream. With the FDA-approved active ingredient, histamine dihydrochloride, Australian Dream is real medicine that penetrates deep into your painful muscles and joints. No odor, no burning, non-greasy. And only Australian Dream has the empty jar guarantee. Use the whole jar. Not happy, return it for a full refund. You can find Australian Dream now at your favorite retailer.
Being a patient with diabetes myself, I can say without question that the Dexcom system is the most powerful tool to help navigate diabetes better on a daily basis.
I love it. I just wear
it.
And that's it. It's totally painless and private.
The Dexcom sends my glucose readings to my receiver every 5 minutes. I just pull it out of my pocket and look, and I don't have to prick my finger.
Dexcom puts you in control, not your diabetes.
The course structure the University of Phoenix offers, it just suits my life perfectly because I am a mom, I'm a wife, and we do short courses, 5 to 6 weeks, and then move on to the next until I finish my goal. Knock, knock.
Separate it into 3
delivery
pieces.
is here. Get 50% off a month of meals and 50% off a month of shakes with probiotics to help support your immunity. Act now to get your month of meals and shakes delivered free.
This is a conspiracy against you, the American people.
Why does the president believe in sinister conspiracies?
The deep state. They were spying.
This is the first time in our history that a conspiracist holds the highest office in the land.
CNN's
Take this
Lorenzo
piece,
Paglia
separate it
investigates
into
the
3
conspiracy
pieces.
theory destroyed the November election.
Voter fraud. The system is rigged.
It's a lie.
So I'm bringing
CNN
this
special report, Donald Trump's conspiracy theories, tonight at 9.
We're supposed to do box springs. Box springs. But we don't have the lead right now, so because we ran out at the hair salon. We're just gonna be that.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, You have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card
Here's the
companies,
first box,
but it's great news for you. We are the Credit Associates. We're offering free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you can save, call 1-800-990-3931. CNN special report. Donald Trump's
I'm
conspiracy
gonna put my
theories
blanket. I
tonight.
tell you, this sign is directly in my window. Ain't like living room.
Coronavirus cases in a handful of states getting harder and harder to manage. Officials considering returning to lockdown, among other steps, to slow the spread.
It's the same
Our correspondents
thing
in some of the country's
all
hardest hit communities, as well as New York. In Los Angeles, Stephanie the city now reporting a record high number of hospitalizations among its problems.
That's right, John. You're talking about more than 2,200 announced in one
Click
day
it in some.
new hospitalizations. In fact, 5 days in a row, Los Angeles has seen more than 2,100 new cases. This is why this is a concern to the mayor here, Eric Garcetti, who says that we are on the brink of going back into a stay-at-home order. Listen to what else the mayor had to say on State of the Union.
What's the hair?
I think we're on the brink of that. But as I've told people over the last week, the discipline, I think a lot of people don't understand, mayors often have no control over what opens up and doesn't at the state or county level. And I do agree that those things happen too quickly.
Now, the other thing to keep in mind here in Los Angeles County, John, is that we are seeing that of these new cases that were announced here, that 53% of them were people under the age of 41. So this is spreading into a different part of the population here when you consider the fact that more than half of the deaths in California are here in Los Angeles County. Obviously, this is concerning. As far as the state is concerned, I can tell you that the positivity rate and the hospitalizations over the last 14-day period are both trending upward. And this is why people are saying that it's possible, the mayor himself saying it's possible that we could go back into a stay-at-home order here in Los Angeles County.
If you need
One of the many people watching this important week ahead, we got more cases in Phoenix, Arizona, as well as another one of those Sun Belt states that has just been hammered in recent days.
hold up a second.
Hammered, and it has been that way since the governor, in a very aggressive way, reopened the state in mid-May. Unlike New York and other places where they have these sort of state reopenings, Arizona just flipped the switch and everything went back on. They have retrenched from some of that, and they're trying to put this genie back in the bottle, basically. But it is going to be very difficult. There is a lot of virus out there right now. The positivity rates across Arizona, the 7-day average is about 24.5%. That means a quarter of everybody who is tested, this is a pop-up testing site behind us, and a quarter of everyone who's tested tests positive for the virus. There are some good signs. The retransmission rate, if I have it, how many people I pass it on to, that's down slightly. Hospitalizations are down slightly, but there is a massive amount of virus out there. And what they are facing now is reopening schools. They're meant to open, they typically open August 1st. The governor has put that back to an aspirational date of August 17th, but 87 doctors and many others across the state want him to either cancel it for the entire semester or at least until October so they can see if they can put this back. But keep in mind, when the governor shut down the state in March, they were at about 1,000 cases a week. Right now, they're about 26,000 cases.
That ain't nothing.
And again, when the governor says he's going to reopen the schools, he says he's going to delay it. And you say the pressure is on how much? He says just 2 weeks from now, or 17 days?
And the chocolate is sweet. You put too much chocolate.
That's what he's saying. He's saying that's an aspirational date. In the coming days, they are meant to make that decision. Teachers across the state are already protesting to some degree, trying to raise awareness about this. The teachers are most concerned about it. The debate will be over whether or not kids can spread to other kids, at what rate they can spread, and can they then spread to teachers and then others in households. That's the biggest problem. To get this thing from going to work, community service, restaurants, gyms, all that sort of stuff, or going to school. That's another big bucket, another big possibility for how this might spread. When you have this much virus already out there, how you do that, it's beyond.
Sean from Del Marcos on the ground in Phoenix. Appreciate the love report.
Water.
On the top of the hour now, hello to our viewers in the United States and around the world. I'm John King in Washington. Thank you for sharing today with us. Possible progress today in the vaccine race as we watch staggering coronavirus numbers, both globally and here in the United States. The preliminary results of 2 vaccines, one developed by the University of Oxford, one developed by Biologics, are encouraging. The Oxford trial included more than 1,500 vaccine is safe and that it does induce an immune response. The Cancino trial also found its candidate produced antibodies a month after vaccination. Both research teams caution more study is needed.
The
Not
water
yet
helps
clear
the brains.
either vaccine candidate protects
Are you
people
what are you
for extended
seasoning,
period.
Grandma?
And now to the numbers. The count in the United States about to hit 3.8 million
Bless you.
infections. Death toll past 140,000 Americans. And all hands on deck moment. That's the language of the White House coronavirus task force describing the challenge at this moment. The president last hour says he will resume his daily coronavirus briefings starting tomorrow. That follows a weekend interview in which the president said a fair amount but most of his words sounded disconnected from the reality of this summer surge. The president, for example, said misleading things about testing and misleading things about the death toll. Here's another. In voicing his opposition to a national mask mandate, the president said everyone knows masks cause problems too. No, they don't. And they do slow the spread of the virus.
I got a good idea.
Just
What
ask
about you?
the Surgeon General.
Box birds in the regular and jumbo in the pack. And I hear someone. See you guys when I be back. Bye.
From Florida on the leading edge of this summer surge. And if you look at 50 states with 50 reopening plans, and many of them problems at the moment. 31 states, see the orange and the deeper red. 31 states going up. That means more cases this week than last week. Not where we thought, where we hoped to be as we get into the July. 14 states, that's the beige or the yellow at home, holding steady. 5 states trending down, including Arizona. That's reporting they've had a tough couple of weeks, but hope that continues. 5 down, 31 up as we begin the work week here. So let's take a closer look at positivity. The president says more
Grandma,
testing.
Arizona is very hot.
You do want more testing, but you want the positivity rate to go down. That means you're stopping the spread. It did go down in early June, to the middle of June. Now the positivity rate going back up around 8%. That's nationally. That is not what you want. That means you still have more of a spread of the virus. In Florida, the hottest of the hot spots, this crazy. The reopening, restaurants are more than 50% capacity, more than movie theaters, more forced to shut down here about a month ago. And you see, the positivity rate, when it was closed and then the very early of the reopening, was low. That is not what you want. 20%, above 15%, some days above 20% in the state of Florida in terms of positivity. That means you have spread and big spread of the virus. One more new thing to look at in Florida here. Just the new cases, the 7-day moving average again. Go back here. The revenue begins on May 1st. Look how low the case count is. Florida was pretty much shut down. But it takes a while. This is the part that's starting to acknowledge the lag time. You're flat for a while, but then as people start getting out, more before the shutdown here, kept climbing again. It lags to go up. It lags to go down. The question is, will it start to go down now? On that question, let's get straight. CNN's Randy Kay, she's in West Palm Beach, Florida.
You're just
Randy,
gonna
the
keep
state has had a
switching now,
horrible couple of weeks.
like
The question
switching,
is,
like you
can
guys know how
it
to
turn
switch.
for the better, or
So
does it
like
keep
this.
in this bad place?
Very confusing.
Let's hope so, John. And looking at the numbers too, just before coming on air, I looked at where we were on July 1st until now. So in the last 19 days, we've jumped about 191,000 cases. Certainly not what the state of Florida needs. And now we're talking more than 5,000 deaths from those new cases coming out today. 5,072 deaths statewide. Overall, the hospitalizations, more than 9,400 hospitalized throughout the state. In Miami-Dade County, you have more than 2,000 hospitalized, 2,056 at last check. That is certainly the hardest hit county here in the state of Florida, and Broward, another one here in South Florida, 1,255 people hospitalized. In terms of the ICU beds throughout the state, John, I just checked, and there's 50 hospitals statewide that have 0 ICU beds left. They have 8 capacity. I tried to get the numbers for the ICU beds from Miami-Dade County, which, as I said, was hardest hit. They usually release on their dashboard the hospitalizations, the ventilator use, and the ICU beds. They are no longer releasing that. The dashboard is down. I'm told that maybe that will become available this afternoon because the state and the county are meeting to try and figure out how they can collect and report the data together. As you know, we didn't even get the state hospitalizations until just a couple of weeks ago. But the statewide positivity rate, 18.7%, that is up from yesterday, which was just 18.2%. And civil fines are being issued throughout Miami-Dade County for people who just aren't wearing their masks, they're not social distancing. 115 total fines, John.
And the individuals are fined $100, businesses are fined $500.
So the people to the sun come
We'll
down.
see if that works, if the
Take the
enforcement
people
works.
and the people on the
So we'll say forces better behavior. Randy K. You said the update, those numbers are still sobering from Florida. And Randy was talking about these ICU numbers in Florida. As we know, more than 80% right now capacity. That means very little room left. Well, cases and numbers of this hospitalization numbers in Florida. At the moment, being arrived, Dr. Nicholas Samias is Chief Trauma and Surgical Critical Care at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. Doctor, thank you so much for your time, especially given the challenge that you're facing at this moment. Watching this throughout last week and now into this new week, the question was Florida keep doing 10,000, 12,000, or is there a point where whether it's the mask or something else, you force this down? Are you seeing at least a stall, or are you still climbing?
Not seeing any stall. I mean, every day we look and we see 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, 10,000. So until we see sustained lower numbers, I don't think we're seeing a stall. And we're not doing anything differently, so there's no reason to expect that they would be any different.
And so if you look, I just want to put up hospitalizations in Florida. And if you go back to the reopening debate, what we were told was we got this, right? A lot of the governors and the people pushing for the reopening. And you can't keep the economy completely shut down. I'm not trying to make that case. But their point was, some people get infected, but we're not going to stress and strain our hospital system. You see the stretch now, Florida hospitalizations going up. There's a lag time. It usually takes 2 to 3 weeks on this one. But there's no question at the moment you're under stress. The question is, how bad is that stress? Can you handle it?
Yeah, I think we can handle it. I mean, what I think the administration is doing is just trying to stay one step ahead of it, not 10 steps ahead of it, because all these steps ahead put great demands on personnel, on resources. So we're always on the cusp where there's a patient who needs a bed and we're making a bed. And that's exactly where we are. There aren't 50 people in emergency room waiting for an ICU bed, but there's one, and then you move things around and you make the one bed until you realize, okay, we need 20 more, where are we going to do it? So they've been working on that, just trying to keep pace with the disease or be one step ahead.
Well, let's hope you can stay at least one step ahead, but one would hope that the United States of America and some of the premier health systems in the world like yours could do a better job than being just one step ahead. I want to put up on the screen, because I want your expertise on this as we start to see. This is the positivity rate. This is a national number here. The positivity rate, which means you're taking the test and you're seeing what percentage of them are coming back positive as more people are tested. You see that dip in early to mid-June, and now we're back up nationally at around 8%. You just heard Randy K talking about Florida in the ballpark of 18%. That tells you have a big problem, and you have beyond a church or one big bar event cluster, you have community spread.
Correct. I mean, if there weren't spread, that positivity rate would actually be going down. It wouldn't stay the same; it would go down. Because if the reality were that we're doing more tests, that's why there are more positives. Well, no, the numbers should go down because the extra people that we're testing are people maybe who are being tested for exposure or they're nervous. So we should be testing a lot more people who are negative, so that percentage should come down. So with it being so high, that's a very serious load of virus out.
And I think you're going to reporter Randy King saying it's trying to actually enforce the mask mandate in the Miami-Dade area, giving people citations and finding them. The President of the United States says he does not believe in a national mask mandate. I want you to listen.
No, I want people to have a certain freedom, and I don't believe in that, no. And I don't agree with the statement that if everybody wear a mask, everything disappears. So all of a sudden, everybody's got to wear a mask. And as you know, masks cause problems too. With that being said, I'm a believer in masks. I think masks are good.
Again, I try to the degree I can to keep the doctors out of the politics in the sense that we have 50 states. This is a big political debate about whether this should be a national mandate, whether this should be up to the governors. Let's leave that to others to debate that out. But to the point the president made there, I don't agree with the statement that if everybody wears a mask, everything disappears, part one. And as you know, masks cause problems. Do masks cause problems?
No, masks do not cause problems. I spent my life in a mask,
Shout out to
and masks do not cause problems, especially the lightweight masks that we're asking the community to wear. Really impose no difficulty breathing or any risk of infection.
Shout out to Roddy bitch.
There's some
Doesn't know
extreme
it. Used
case
to
at
know
the
it,
far
but
end,
now it's El
which
Chopper.
really has no breath left in their life. You may have trouble with it.
Shout out to
for
Dub Babe.
essentially all
Shout out to
normal
Nicki
people, it doesn't pose any kind of a
Minaj.
problem.
Shout out
And
to
for sure, wearing a
Doja Cat.
mask will help spread disease. It's a respiratory disease. It's that simple.
Do it like
You can't breathe it out. You can't breathe it in. Just don't help.
The friend,
Something
just
that
like
comes to mind
come
in the middle of it and
just
for
like
appreciate your time and your expertise. Most
do it
importantly,
like
appreciate the work you're doing every day. Thank you very much,
I'm
sir.
scared of you.
Thank you.
Shout out to Gucci
Thank you.
Mane.
And now
Shout
let's
out
dig a
to
little bit deeper on
Quavo.
word today of early promise of two major vaccine candidates. CNN's Jacqueline Howard joins us now to share this reporting. Jacqueline, one trial for Oxford, another from the Chinese drug maker CanSino. What have we learned?
Like socks. Plenty of
Yeah, so it's really, this data just came in, so this is really new preliminary data, and I can start with the Oxford trial. So that study was done on more than 1,000 participants. They were healthy adults, ages 18 to 55, and the study did show that the vaccine candidate in this case was able to elicit an immune response. So specifically, here it says that the vaccine candidate was able to elicit an antibody response within 28 days and a T cell response within 14 days. And antibody responses and seeing the response with T cells really shows that the candidate did elicit an immune response. So in other words, it did what we would want it to do. Now, what we still have to determine is whether this is enough to help through the pandemic. We really need to do more trials to see whether this vaccine candidate and the response that we saw here in future trials, if it will show to work against the pandemic that we're facing today. And then also, again, the study was done in healthy adults ages 18 to 55. We really need to see how this vaccine would work in older adults and people with underlying health conditions. And those are the two high-risk groups for COVID, older adults and those with underlying conditions. So that's really what we still have to learn here.
That's the challenge. Balance let's have a little optimism with some progress being made with the wait as these move into a bigger phase trials.
Then we're going to see if Shelby has a dish.
We'll stay on top of that one as well. Up next for us, Law and Order. A federal judge's family targeted her son gunned down on their doorstep overnight. The latest on the
Okay. Back home.
14-15.
No.
So not happening. Lose up to 18 pounds in your first 2 months. You'll enjoy delicious new meals and probiotic shakes to help support your immunity. Delivered free. Get 50% off a month of meals and shakes.
This is cellulose acetate, a plant-based material that's not only extremely durable, but also quite flexible, making it ideal for Warby Parker glasses. Start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com. Oh yeah, about those prescription lenses. Warby Parker glasses come standard with custom-cut polycarbonate lenses that have been treated with scratch-resistant and anti-reflective coatings. Nice. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
93 more days, promising new adventure and views that never get old. Your favorite season starts now. Summer on. Receive a credit of $3,000 on select models now through July 31st.
Attention, anyone on Medicare. Did you know you may now be eligible for additional Medicare approved benefits?
I don't Medicare.
Listen up for today's cereal. Cereal. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Cereal. There's a jumbo. This is how TV. This is gonna be another jumbo. This is code 800 8 820987. That's no more rotating. This is how that one can be. This is not a jumbo because it's up here for that one. I need to set it. Grandma, you forgot cheese.
Oh, I could do without it. I had cheese in there, so.
Oh, we have cheese in there? I think I'm not going to get them. No, because the fat is jumbo. Grandma, did you know I'm doing
What?
Did you know I'm doing box braids? Jumbo box braids video. Doing the regular box braids in the front and the jumbo in the back. Oh my Huh?
Asia, why you on my phone?
That's not your phone.
Okay. You doing it yourself, Brady?
Leave me alone because you say why you
You got them, why you got them tighter?
They
No,
are
not doing
tight.
tighter. I just asked you, am I doing tighter?
Yes.
The bottom look more tighter than the top. You gotta tighten it up some more.
They are tight. And I know how to do hair and you don't. You can't even put my hair in the bun.
So you know how to do hair?
Yeah. There's a red bug outside with red shoes on.